What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you my latest video in my must-have must-gag series. This is a series that I created because I was inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series. I always have her playlist and the community playlist linked down below in case you want to see any other creators who publish onto that playlist. Just look down below. I also always have all of the items that I discussed linked down below. I have quite a few items. I found a bunch new indie brands, various methods. I've just found a lot of new brands, a lot of new products. I don't want to talk too much. I will say I did record this look in case you are interested. It should be coming up later this week, but you know, don't clock me. Yeah. What I'm going to do is just scoot over and we are going to just get right into it because like I said, I have, what's going on? Move. I have quite a bit to discuss. It is late and I still need to read for my other channels. So the first thing that I want to discuss is from a shop called Shop Her Cosmetics. It is their very first eyeshadow palette and it is being launched in honor of Juneteenth. I don't see a name for the palette. So the name of this palette is called the Life Cycle Eyeshadow Palette. That took way too long to figure out. Anyways, I like that there are both colorful and neutral shades in this palette. I guess for me, the one kind of qualm is that it's all matte. For me, I just don't reach for all matte palettes, so I'm going to have to pass. Am I in focus? See, this is the problem. The fact that I wear glasses, I can't ever tell if I'm in focus. Okay, it looks like I was in focus just now, so yeah. Okay, A.l.i.e.n has come out with some new liquid lipstick shades, all inspired by coffee, so that means they're all browns. I've been wearing almost exclusively brown lip products for a minute now. The only kind of saving grace for me when it comes to this is that I did not enjoy the formula of this product. I had one years ago and I did not enjoy the formula, so I'm just gonna repress any desire to purchase this and just absorb the memory of the fact that I hated that formula. A.l.i.e.n Cosmetics is coming out with a new palette. It's called the Stellar Sunsets palette. It is another 9-pan palette. I feel like a lot of their palettes are 9 pans. There looks to be 4 mattes and 5 shimmers. Not a bad kind of variation. I like that there are 2 pinks, one pink, one like lavender shade, so you can blend out that pink or that maroon. And then they also give you that green to kind of add some variety. Overall, I think it's kind of a cool color scheme. It would definitely make me think and stop and figure out like, what do I actually want to do? But it's not something that I'm feeling gripped and like I can think of a whole bunch of color schemes. Like for me, this would be like a challenging color scheme, which isn't a bad thing, but just not something that I need right now. Fashion Killer Cosmetics is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette and it looks to be 90s themed. The shade is, that's not even the same palette. The palette is called Trapped in the 90s. So it's a super bright palette. The top row pretty much looks to be exclusively neons. Then you have just other various colorful mattes in the bottom 2 rows. Once again, this looks to be an all matte palette and honestly it's just not something that I need. I have quite a few very bright palettes. I'm wearing eyeshadow from a bright palette today. I'm wearing my Vivid Pigments from Colored Rain. I also have my A.l.i.e.n palette from my Slayer palette from XNOCosmetics. So I have quite a few really bright pigmented palettes that I just don't need this, especially like I said, because it is all matte. It's really pretty though. I wouldn't mind this being in my collection, but it's definitely not something that I truly need. The Rainbow Station. So I finally got to see like the full palette. Last week I showed kind of a sneak peek and now we see everything. So there is pretty much exclusively a row up top. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 metallic-y shades, and then the rest are all mattes. This is definitely a half neutral, half colorful matte palette. The shimmers are pretty exclusively colorful. I think this is a decent looking palette. Maybe if I didn't have something kind of similar in my collection, I would pick this up. But just for a palette like this, I would want honestly more color, and the mattes that they provide, they aren't bad. I actually think those neutrals are really nice. I like that they're yellow based, especially Scoop is really nice. I feel like that's like more of a mustardy shade than a yellow, but I just don't need it. As much as cute as it is, I just don't need it. Lights Lacquer has come out with her summer collection. Kathleen Light's nail polish has been one of those brands that I have bought quite a bit of nail polish from. I love her applicator, and I love the formula. It's so nice, and I have quite, like I said, quite a bit of nail polish from her. I am debating whether I want to buy anything from this collection. I haven't done it yet as of recording this video, but you know, I've been acting like I just don't have a care in the world, and I've just been shopping lately, so I don't know. I may buy a couple. If I buy any, I'm really interested in that corally peachy shade, the greeny shade, and I think the other one that I have in my cart is maybe the blue or the purple. I know I don't have the yellow in my cart. No, I do have it's the yellow. It is the yellow in my cart, because I don't have a yellow like that. I have quite a few yellows, 2 or 3, but none of them are this shade of yellow. I love yellow. Vel BBC is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette. It's called the Are You Lost Baby Girl eyeshadow palette. Immediately for me, this is just a no. There's basically a whole row of glitters. I don't like glitter. I don't care if it's 1 shadow. I don't care if it's 5, 10. I don't care. I don't do glitter. I just don't get any use out of it, so I don't even want to bring them into my collection. The only glittery products that I have are the Pixie shadows from XNOCosmetics, and honestly, I don't reach for them very often. So they're just sitting in my collection, honestly collecting dust, but they're so pretty that I refuse to get rid of them. So that is why I'm so strict and so kind of no mess when it comes to glitter shadows and palettes, and this has a whole row of that, so it is a pass. Other than that, I think the color scheme is actually very interesting, and I would actually get some use out of it, but yeah, no. Okay, so Kylie Jenner is doing a collaboration with Kendall. For me, I'm interested in the new variation of products, but I don't want to pick these up. So I'm interested in the cream sticks that she is launching with this collection. So I have been very informed by Beauty News lately, and they informed me that she has already sneak peeked that she's coming out with a variety of shades of the cream bronzer. They will be launching soon, so I am very intrigued. I already have a Kylie bronzer. I have one of her powder bronzers, and I enjoy the product. I think it works beautifully on my complexion. I think it's warm enough, it's deep enough. I really enjoy it, which means I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a cream bronzer that's gonna work for me as well. I brought that powder bronzer on sale. I don't remember when, but I bought it on a sale. That'll probably be the only time I buy any cream products from her, but I have been getting into creams. I bought some creams, so yeah, I wouldn't hate trying these. I will put a picture specifically of the 3 creams in this collection swatch. They show up on this person's complexion, but they don't look warm enough, especially that bronzer does not look warm. The highlighter looks icy. The blush doesn't look half bad, I will say that. So maybe, but I'm pretty sure that the 3 sticks come as a kit, and your girl don't want no kit. So we'll see. I didn't really talk about anything else. Let me just go ahead and talk about the rest of the collection. There is an eyeshadow palette. I think the eyeshadow palette looks fine. Definitely would only really be checking for the colorful half. The neutral half, to me, just those are boring browns. To me, those are not interesting browns, so it would be easy pass. Then she has a high lip gloss. I don't need a whatever expensive price lip gloss coming from this collection. I just don't. Then she has some, what is this? an everything everywhere gloss. It's in a pot. No. Then she has some other stuff. I know she has other stuff. What's the other stuff? There's like a powder, pressed powder. I don't need that. There's a lip kit. I don't need that either. I think that's it. Overall, this whole collection is just a pass, but I am intrigued and excited to see the new products, mainly the cream sticks that Kylie comes out with. I'm excited to try those. I'm not gonna lie. Notoriously Morbid has released their palette for their 7th year anniversary, and I'm so happy for them. Congrats. I do have quite a few things from Notoriously Morbid. I believe I have some single shadows. Which ones they are, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure they don't have the names on the shadows that I got from them, so that's moot. And then I also have a contour palette from them. This eyeshadow palette looks really nice. You have quite a few duochromes in this palette, well, multi-chromes, and then you have some really beautiful matte shades. It doesn't look like there's very many mattes. It looks like there's only 3 mattes. There's a really pretty corally orange, a really bright purple or pink, and then a really beautiful gray. Everything else looks to be a multi-chrome or a metallic. I'm interested in it, but honestly, I'm interested in it because of the multi-chromes, which is probably what they wanted. They also have a bunch of single products coming out. They have liquid lipsticks, all that stuff. It looks nice. I think the only thing that I would check for out of that whole collection, honestly, would be that eyeshadow palette. And on this post, you don't get the price of it. Okay, it doesn't look like it is on their website yet. I don't see it on the website yet. But it says that it's live. So if I can figure it out, I will let you guys know. Oh, you know what? I'm looking like Boo the Fool. This is not an eyeshadow palette. These are just singles that they put in a palette. Next, let me keep going. Okay, XNOCosmetics has come out with their special edition 5 shimmery eyeshadow palette, and this is in their minimalist range. They already have 2 all matte palettes in that range, and now they've come out with this. You know, I'm definitely not gonna do an all shimmery palette, and their shimmers, they just look like shimmers. Your girl wants metallics. If I'm gonna do an all shimmer palette, it needs to be metallic foiled goodness or multi-chromed goodness. This is neither. Easy pass. Andy Candy Makeup has come out with a fully flavored eyeshadow palette, and this looks like it's majority matte, maybe 2 shimmers. I like 1 or 2 shades, but I think overall, I just don't like the overall color scheme. You can definitely come out with some decent looks out of this palette based on the color scheme. I have not tried Andy Candy's pressed formula. I did have their pigment, and I decluttered it. It was beautiful, but it was messy. The pigment part was so messy. I loved the eyeshadow part though. The 2 duos up there were beautiful, but I just couldn't handle the pigment. So if this is the same formula, then I would definitely recommend it. But since I haven't tried any of their eyeshadow palettes, I can't tell you if it is or if it isn't. Girl Meets Makeup looks to be coming out with a new eyeshadow palette. I don't remember this eyeshadow palette. I know I've talked about this brand though. And it looks like there's only 3 mattes. The rest are shimmers. I will say for the color scheme, they chose the matte strategically and it actually works out. But overall, that's just not enough mattes for me. I would want more. I do really like the colors of mattes. I will say that. I honestly like the colors of the mattes more than I do the colors of the metallics. But yeah, so it's a pass for me. Morphe is doing a collaboration with Maddie Ziegler, and apparently she is like a fitness person or something. I don't know. Maybe this is lifestyle. I can't tell. These Instagram people, I'm just confuzzled. Anyways, she has a whole eyeshadow palette, like cream products and lip glosses. This is an easy pass for me. I don't get inspired or really interested in a lot of Morphe things. At the most, I'm interested in their bronzers. That's pretty much it. A.l.i.e.n Cosmetics has come out. Well, they have been spotlighted on one of the makeup pages that I follow, and I've never heard about them, so I want to talk about them today. And it looks like they have lip glosses and an eyeshadow palette and maybe even brushes. The lip glosses look halfway decent. I'm actually interested in Fun in the Sun. That actually looks like a really nice shade. Between that and Beach Vibes, I think those are two very interesting shades. The eyeshadow palette is too neutral for me, and it's not, once again, the types of browns that I like. I do like browns. You guys will have seen just my last video. I showed you guys that I'm interested enough in browns that I buy the palettes, but this palette is a pass for me. Next is a product that I did buy. Yes, that's right. I bought something. I bought quite a few things makeup wise. The justification will be real when I post and talk about them, but we just not gonna, I'll justify this one and then we'll move past it. So this is from Playing in Makeup by Yolanda. They created an eyeshadow base, and I just really wanted to try it. I have eyeshadow bases from other brands. I have currently in my collection, I believe I have 3 eyeshadow bases. I'm actually going to be giving one to my best friend. I've just been procrastinating on giving her her care package, but eventually, sis, it'll come out to you. Right now I'm actually using my NYX glitter glue as an eyeshadow base, and I think it looks fine, but overall I would prefer to use an actual eyeshadow base. And this base that she has launched, they have a shade that looks like it will actually be perfect for my skin tone, like an actual skin tone base. I've always wanted to try it, and low-key the packaging reminds me of a brand. What brand? I don't know. But because it reminds me of this brand and I don't support that brand, I wanted to really try this base. And based on the name, they actually call this an eyeshadow foundation base. So maybe they'll turn the eyeshadows into bases. I don't know. I'm just very intrigued by this brand. A lot more people have been talking about this brand lately. And yeah, I was gonna buy an eyeshadow palette with this purchase, but I told myself no, so I did good. But I want their pastel palette. It's that simple. So, and it's called the Jam Rock. What is it called? It's called the Jam Rock colored something palette. I want it, and as soon as this no buy is over, I'll get it. Drunk Elephant has come out with their own version of a micellar water. Right now, I don't really use micellar waters. I'm using toners, which depending on the time period, I use a micellar water as a toner. So this wouldn't be without cause for me to be interested in it, but I just don't need to be spending $28 on a micellar water when I can get a toner for a lot cheaper, and I use them in the same manner. A.l.i.e.n Cosmetics is also coming out with the Fairy Frolic palette, and this is another 9-pan palette. This is more my color scheme. This has grungy mattes that are beautiful. They have that like poopy brown shade, a black, a really rich brown, and then a green, and then they have some really pretty metallics. I love this palette. I would get that palette. I would. And depending on, I think it's coming out in August, so it wouldn't be too far away from me that I might get it. Who knows? Sunbath and Soft Serve is another name for another palette from A.l.i.e.n Cosmetics. I'm not sure if it's the same. No, that's yet a third palette that they're coming out with. So they're coming out with a lot. Most likely it's because, like a lot of makeup brands, they had a lot of things prepared to release and launch, and because of COVID they had to push everything back, so now they're pushing everything out at the same time. So be warned, there's going to be a lot of makeup coming out in the recent weeks and months, and a lot of sales, because a lot of brands are going to want people to purchase the makeup that they already manufactured, and they're going to want to push out that stuff that's already manufactured so they can prepare for the upcoming months that come later. Melt is coming out with their She's in Parties eyeshadow palette. They did previously have this as a stack. I wasn't really pressed about this palette when it was a stack, so I'm not going to be pressed about this palette when it is a palette. I will say there are about 2 Melt palettes that I do want to try, but I'm definitely going to wait for these until my no-buy is officially over. Okay, Park Avenue Cosmetics has come out with a new palette. I've never heard of this brand before, and it is the Persephone palette. There looks to be glitters, but there are also mattes and probably metallics in there as well. If those glitters were metallics, I would be interested in this palette. I think this palette looks really pretty. I love pastel shades. I love pastel palettes. I have quite a few in my collection to be somebody my complexion, but I can't. Y'all have glitters. I cannot. Alrighty, so KVD Beauty has released a new product. I'm just gonna talk about this really quickly. Was I just lost in the sauce and really just stuck in grad school and like being busy in life that I did not realize that like sis got kicked out of her own brand and they're not even claiming her at the title anymore? Let me know, because I really don't know. I need to do some research on it, but you know, if y'all know, y'all can save me a little research maybe. Anyway, they're coming out with a shake primer, and I'm confuzzled. I'm interested. I don't know how to feel about this. This is supposed to be invisible, light as air, liquid formula, and it's supposed to be clear and universal, but it's designed for eyeshadows true to pan color payoff. So I feel like it's an eyeshadow primer, which it does say on the bottle, but I'm confuzzled because it's liquid. So is it a spray? Is it like a liquid where you like push it out like my NYX? Like I need answers. It's supposed to be coming out soon. In a couple of days it's supposed to be coming out, so I'm hella interested. Hopefully by the time it comes out we'll get some more information. If not, I'm sure many people that I follow will be posting about this, because I follow quite a bit of bigger YouTubers for that purpose. Blaque Cosmetics is coming out with a new release. This is an eyeshadow palette, and there are quite a few mattes. Really nice color scheme. I really enjoy the color scheme of these mattes, and then 2 kind of basic metallics. I wouldn't be mad at trying this brand at all. It looks like this brand has been going for a minute, because they have quite a decent following on Instagram. I never heard of this brand, but let me see. So it looks like they have a lot of lip products. They have some highlighters as well, or maybe just one highlighter, and it looks to be a gold with like some pinky situation in it. Not bad. It doesn't look like the eyeshadow palette is on the website yet, but I guess it's coming. I'm just trying to figure out if I can get some more information about it. So this is inspired by eight different influential Black women in the cosmetic and beauty industry, which I think is a really nice touch to this palette. Not only is the color interesting, or the actual color scheme is interesting, but the background information about the palette is interesting as well. I would be interested in trying this palette. I just want more information about like how much it is, when it's coming, all that jazz. Essence is coming out with their own fruity collection, and it looks to have a lip balm, an SPS mist, brush set, a lipstick set, jelly primers, a fan, nail polish, and a spray. A lot of stuff, nothing that I'm really crying out for. I have already bought a setting spray, and I also found a setting spray in the trunk of my car. I forgot I had that setting spray in my car for my Shop My Stash, which reminds me that I probably need to de-stash that stuff to see if any of that stuff is stuff that I thought I was missing. Anyways, this is another collection that I can easily pass. Hospytal Cosmetics is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette. It's called the Wild Moon Swings palette. This predominantly is pinks and purples with a splash of some blues and some greens. I think this color scheme is really, really nice. I do enjoy it, but the shimmer shades look to be true shimmers. Your girl loves metallics, so I am just gonna pass on this palette. Ooh, okay. So earlier in this video, I talked about 2 palettes from A.l.i.e.n Cosmetics. I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to keep them, whatever. Anyways, this is an actual updated version of that situation. So I have actually seen the inside of Sunbathe and Soft Serve palette, and then I've seen the packaging of the other palette that I talked about. So really quickly, I'm just gonna breeze through this. I think the color scheme for the Sunbathe and Soft Serve palette is nice. It's not something that I necessarily need, although I don't have a all blue palette. I don't need it. I have my NARS palette. I am good. As for the A.l.i.e.n Stellar palette, once again, I think it's okay, but just still not something that I truly need. Okay. Tink's Beauty Diary is coming out with the Gone Rouge palette, and this is a beautiful palette. Beautiful. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The brand is XNOCosmetics. Sorry. They were crediting the person who took the picture. But anyways, this is a very, very beautiful palette. I love the matte shades. I love the metallic shades. But there's a freaking glitter. I can't. I cannot. So it's a pass, but this is a very, very pretty color scheme other than that stupid glitter. XNOCosmetics also has another eyeshadow palette, and this one is called their Rose Meadow palette, and this reminds me of the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. So if you don't want to support Huda Beauty for whatever reason, or you just want more of an indie brand, if that makes sense, I say this palette looks like it. I haven't tried it, obviously, but the color scheme looks very similar to the Huda Beauty New Nudes palette. Lamara Cosmetics is coming out with a high maintenance eyeshadow palette. This looks to be pretty expensive. It's $48, and you get some blues, some pinks, a purple, a yellow, orange, red, brown, and you get some shimmers as well. Maybe shimmers, I can't tell. Camera cut me off because I guess it didn't care if I could tell. Either way, I can't tell if those are shimmers or glitter. I don't need it regardless, but it is pretty. OMFG Cosmetics is releasing their cake liners. A lot of indie brands are coming out with cake liners lately, which is interesting. I think these colors are really, really nice. These are pastel colors. There was another brand that I was halfway interested in because they had pastel liners, not including XNOCosmetics. I remember that one because that's an actual palette, but there was another brand that had singles like this that were pastels. I would be interested in maybe picking up 1 or 2 of these if the shades are not the same as the XNOCosmetics palette, but getting the XNOCosmetics palette is all determined on what the compact is made of. If it's a metal like lining, then I'm not gonna get that, but if it is plastic or maybe even just the cardboard, then maybe. I'm intrigued. I want to see more of that, but I am very, very interested in these cake liners. I already have quite a few cake liners from Silver Beauty, and I do enjoy them, so I wouldn't mind bringing more cake liners into my collection. UCAN has released a new eyeshadow palette. It is the Cellophane Cosmetics or Cellophane palette. This is one of those like brands that used to copy a lot of other designs, and I think now they're starting to do their own thing. I think this color scheme is actually really, really nice. I really enjoy it. And it looks like they have like the pretend glitter foily shades that Huda Beauty has in her latest palettes. So I actually am very interested in this palette. I used to have an eyeshadow primer from them, but I think I threw it away or gave it away. I wasn't a huge fan of that primer, but I would be interested to try this palette. It is $12.99 and it's on Amazon, so it's not a bad price. Myali Beauty is coming out with their Yasmin palette. This palette looks to be a very warm toned neutral palette with a splash of purple. I think this palette is beautiful, and I think this would be great for anybody who is a neutral lover, really wants to stay in the neutrals, likes purple but not too much, because you don't get too much color in this palette. You get those three kind of grungy shades, which I really do enjoy. You get that mustardy shade, then that like goldy greeny shade, and then that like poopy shade. Those three are my favorite three in the palette, but I'm not gonna buy or be intrigued from a palette for just those three shades. I've already done a palette or a video talking about like my ugly shades, and those are some shades that like remind me of that video and of that palette, so your girl is good. Not See Beauty has come out with their multi-chrome collection, and it's on their website right now. They have about 6 shades from what I can tell, and they look beautiful. They really do. I will say I have quite a few multi-chromes, like quite a few, both in pans like this, but I also have them in loose products, foil, flaky. I have quite a few, so I don't think I need any more, and none of these look super unique. I think out of all of these, the one that I may not already have is Cygnus, which is the bottom one in the right hand corner, but the other ones I'm pretty sure I have somehow, some way. MAC is coming out with a round 2 of a Selena collection. I didn't get anything from round 1, so I ain't getting anything from round 2. It is, for me, it's that simple. XNOCosmetics has come out with another palette, and it's called their Zombae palette. This is like a grungy, deep, colorful palette. I think this is really nice. The one con that I can see just from looking at the palette is that the yellow looks to be too pastel-y, too light to work with the rest of the tones in this palette. I feel like that yellow should be a little bit deeper to work with the majority of the tones in this palette, but still very interested. I do have one palette from XNOCosmetics, and I love it. I love it so much, so I wouldn't be opposed to trying this formula or trying this palette when I'm off my no buy. Pinky Rose Cosmetics is coming out with quite a few bases, eyeshadow bases, and a lot of them are colored. They've sneak peeked quite a few. So they have a like beigey one, they have a dark brown one that would be like my skin tone, they have a purple one, a yellow one, an orange one, a beigey one, and I think that's it. Oh, they also have a blue one. Quite a few. I'm personally gonna stay tuned and wait to see what other people think. I've tried Pinky Rose Cosmetics before, their actual eyeshadow palette. I did not like the formula. I actually ended up decluttering them, and it was a mess. So I'm good, but I wouldn't mind seeing how other people enjoy or enjoy or don't enjoy the bases. Charolette Tilbury looks to be coming out with deeper shades in her setting powder range. So she already has a dark shade, which is not dark. I feel like that shade works for Karen from Karen Harris, and yeah, so I'd be intrigued to see what's happening with this deep shade, how deep it is. For me now, I'm starting to really come to the conclusion that if I can't find a bronzer and a foundation that work for me, and at least 2 shades deeper than that in a brand's range, then I feel like I just should not try the range, and I should not support the brand. I really want these brands to just inclusivize Yep, I said inclusivize their shade range when it comes to foundations and bronzers. Those are the two ranges I feel like are just not inclusive at all. Highlighters are very inclusive. I feel like a lot of brands know to bring out a decent range when it comes to that. And even blushes, like blushes are something that I feel like a lot of brands are just lacking when it comes to the inclusivity, but it's easier to finesse a blush than it is to finesse a bronzer or a foundation. So that being said, until Charlotte Tilbury comes out with some more deeper products, for me, it's going to be a pass on her whole range, but I did just want to talk about that. Nabla has also come out with their Miami Lights collection. They have a bunch of glosses. Some of them look to have glitter in them. Some of them look to be just like cream glosses. Then they have added 2 new blushes to their like blushy range thing. And then they added a bronzer situation to this range, and this is the skin kind of glazing bronzer. And yeah, and then there's an eyeshadow palette which is all glitters. That's an easy pass. Yeah. The whole time in this video I've been saying I don't like glitters. That's an easy pass. But the bronzers don't look dark enough. They don't look dark enough, like at all. The profile shade, that looks like another bronzer that maybe Karen Harris will be able to get use out of, or like even like a kinky sweat. I feel like that would be like a kinky sweat shade. Maybe like it just, they don't seem deep enough. The blushes don't seem deep enough. So right now I'm gonna take a step back from Nabla as well, which is disappointing because I was actually checking for a couple of their eyeshadow palettes. I think I was checking for 2 of their eyeshadow palettes, but until they can have a decent bronzer range, it's a wrap. Odin's Eye. So Odin's Eye has been getting their rounds when it comes to a lot of the mid-sized beauty influencers. A lot of, like, you know, the ones that do basically all the collabs with each other. They've been getting a lot of buzz with them because they've been sending PR their way. And I haven't seen anybody do a look or anything with this palette, but I am intrigued by it. It is their Alva eyeshadow palette. It looks to be pretty much pinky toned, like pinky nudes. This might be kind of their equivalent of, once again, the Huda Beauty New palette. The only difference is they do have one beautiful orangey yellow shade and then one beautiful orange matte. I am interested in trying this brand. I want to see this brand used on somebody my complexion. I don't see that. I don't even think like the swatch and the Instagram swatching pages that I follow that are my complexion, I don't think I've seen them swatch from this brand. So I would be intrigued once again once I'm finally off my no buy. But I do hope that Odin's Eye will find somebody who is my complexion to send PR to, so that I and other people who are interested in the brand that are my complexion can get some opinions, can see what's going on with the brand on somebody with some chocolate. Bella Cosmetics 805 has released something new, and it is called, there's no name, and just the title of the palette is just Bella Cosmetics. Either way, there's a pressed glitter, so it's an easy path. But if that pressed glitter wasn't in there and if it was just a metallic, I would have wanted this palette and I probably would have bought it now. It's a beautiful, beautiful grungy, just grunge palette, so I would have bought it. Whew, oh my god, like I have so much to talk about this time. So much. Okay, Linda Hallberg is coming out with another Infinity palette. It should already be available by the time this video goes up. It is, because today is the 26th and it released on the 25th. It is basically a pinky toned palette with 2 browns. What I like about this palette is that this could be, for real, for me, it could be an infinity palette. So I would actually use this on my eyes and on my face. The pinky tones are just beautiful blush shades. The browns could be beautiful like bronzers or even face setting shades. And then the shimmers could be really, really pretty inner corner highlights, but also blushes or blush toppers and all that jazz, and highlighters. Overall, this would be the one palette in this affinity range that I would really get from Linda Hallberg, and I might get it when my no buy is over, because I am intrigued to see why are the motorcycles so loud. They're on a highway and I don't even live off the highway. Like, I live in the neighborhood. Why can I hear them? Anyways, I would be intrigued to try this formula. I do have an eyeshadow palette from Linda Hallberg, but it's just her topper shade, so I've not tried a palette from this collection. XNOCosmetics is coming out with a new product, and it is the Besties collection. So I guess she's doing a collection with like her best friend, and there is a hydrating mist and a primer. I don't like hydrating primers or hydrating mist. I actually have a hydrating mist and that is enough, so this is a pass for me, but I am still interested in XNOCosmetics overall, and hopefully once my no buy is over I can find the money and the time to buy a palette from them to try out their formula. CoverGirl has released quite a bit of things. It looks like they've released some lid paints, some bronzers and blushes, eyeshadow palettes, liquid lipsticks, pressed powders, mascara, and so much. For me, you guys know what it is. I would be interested in the two things, the blushes and the bronzers. I don't see the bronzers pictured in this picture. If it's just that one compact, that's atrocious, CoverGirl, atrocious. But the blushes don't look half bad color wise. Just overall, nothing super intriguing to me in this collection though. XNOCosmetics is releasing their first product, which is an eyeshadow palette. It's called the Loud Pack eyeshadow palette, and I think this looks actually halfway decent. There doesn't look to be any glitter, but there definitely are metallics. The mattes are okay. I will say the matte variation, it looks like 3 of the shades kind of look like they're the same thing. So because of that, I would have to pass, but overall it doesn't look half bad. Playing with Yolanda, she's sneak peeking that she's coming out with a setting spray. I wish that this was out when I bought the eyeshadow primer, because I would have purchased this as well. But when this does come out, I may go ahead and pick it up, you know, along with the eyeshadow palette if I can justify it then, because I couldn't justify it now. I just bought an eyeshadow palette, so I had to give myself a little break, you know. So now we see the full collection when it comes to the Besame and the I Love Lucy collection. You have the eyeshadow palette, you have the red lipstick, you have a peach lipstick as well. Yeah, you have a powder compact and you have a pencil set. And yeah, the lipsticks, yeah, the powder, yeah, the eyeshadow, yeah, overall it's just gonna be a pass. Like I said, I was interested just because I felt like they would be the one brand to really do it right, at least coloring wise. But overall it's just gonna be a pass. VE Cosmetics is sneak peeking that they're coming out with their Alchemist 2 palette. I feel like I've talked about VE Cosmetics before, but to be quite honest, I can't. Oh, that's right, they had like the weed shade palette. Yeah, I talked about them last week. Anyways, they're sneaky peeking that they're coming out with a new Alchemist palette, and that there are 12 duochrome shades, I'm guessing, in this, which means this is all shimmer palette. So we'll see. BB Beauty Store has released 2 new eyeshadow palettes. Both of them are all matte. One is all colors and one is all neutrals. I just don't need either of these. They're both pretty. I would say if I would reach for one, I don't even know if I would reach for one over the other. They're both pretty, but I just don't need either of them. Makeup Geek Cosmetics has released new eyeshadows. These look to be more pastel in nature, and when you see the picture, you will see that this looks like ash on the person of color's skin. So it's a wrap. No ma'am. MCosmetics is coming out with some more serum blushes. I want to try the serum blush collection, or I want to try the serum blush formulation. I have 2 liquid blushes coming my way, so I'm not gonna try and get to them somehow, some way, and justify it now, but I will be trying MCosmetics serum blushes later. And I did want to try their cloud paints at one point as well, but I kind of rationalized myself out of it. But you know, I can rationalize myself back into there, so we will see what happens a little bit later on. NARS has released a Zen collection that looks to be exclusive to Japan. Honestly, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, so yeah. Catrice has released new products in Ulta. They have an eyeshadow palette and a highlighter and 2 bronzers and some liquid, no, those are BB creams. Okay, let's I was about to give Catrice so much credit, so much credit. Can we talk about these BB creams? Look at the range. Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand. I don't. So yeah, I was gonna give them a little bit of credit because the bronzer actually doesn't look half bad. It actually looks halfway decent, like depth wise, but I can't. Drench Cosmetics has also sneak peeked a new palette. Not much to talk about because they haven't given us a real inside look, but yeah, we will see. Oh my god, I hope to god I'm like somewhere near the end. I need some water. Okay, Cara Beauty Official has a couple of new palettes and I've never seen them before. So there's one that is Summer Bikini. This is a beautiful color scheme. I want this badly. So it is available now. They have some purples, blues, lime greens, and pinks, and this is just an outstanding color scheme. Outstanding. And I don't think I have any color scheme like this. I have the shades, but I don't have a palette with this color scheme. This might be the next palette that I get from an indie brand. This is beautiful, and their other palette is like no exception. This is the second out of the third one, and this one is Summer Stunna. Oh, the other one is called Beach Days. I'm sorry. Summer Stunna is beautiful as well. I mean, just beautiful. What is the third one? The third one is a more pinky, purpley, and neutral toned one, and that's Girls Just Want to Have Sun. That one I could easily pass on, but the other two, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in my collection at all. Bougie Cosmetics has come out with a new palette. Beautiful matte, bright shades with some very subtle shimmers. Because the shimmers are subtle, I would say it's a pass for me because but the mattes look really nice. Minked Up looks to be coming out with a new palette as well. This is the Summer Fantasy palette. Pretty. I like certain shades, I like certain combinations that I think I could create with this palette, but not something I desperately need. This is something I haven't talked about because I never saw it, and this is Makeup Maniac Cosmetics' Underground Candy palette. I think this is a pretty palette. Definitely those mattes are what's calling my name from this palette. They're grungy, beautiful, ness. Do I need this palette for the grungy matte? No, I really should be checking for my Viseart Dark Mattes palette, but you know, we are what we are. Bella Cosmetics is coming out with a Dreaming in Color and a Cool Breeze palette. I think both of these palettes look pretty, very pretty. And honestly, it would be hard for me to choose. I think I would choose the Cool Breeze palette, but they both look very pretty. Now this is something, this is where I need Angelica Niquist to pop in and say, who asked for this? Because I really want to know who is asking for this, who's checking for it, and who's gonna buy it that doesn't want to get it for like a gimmicky video of some sort. This is the Makeup Erasers first official washable sponge that you can put in the washer machine. Why would you put a sponge in the washing machine? I genuinely, honestly, wholeheartedly, I don't understand. Like, you can wash it in your sink with some soap and some water. So clearly y'all know my opinion on this. And that is it. Oh child, I'm tired. I feel dehydrated. I've been talking so long. I worked today. I had to put that mask on. And fun fact, wearing these masks actually dehydrates our bodies more. So you need to drink more water than you're typically used to. Fun fact over. I am tired. There were quite a few products this week that I am like lusting after and I really want to get. I would be interested in the 2 palettes from Kara Beauty Cosmetics. The XNOCosmetics blush, I'm interested in that formula. Let's see, the setting spray from the Yolanda shop, what is it called? Makeup by Yolanda. I'm interested in that. What else? The Linda Harburg new eyeshadow palette, the eyeshadow palette from, what is that brand again? Odin's Eye. The You Can Be eyeshadow palette, the OMFG Cosmetics, Cakeliners, the Blaque Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, the KVD primer. I'm just interested to know what that is. I probably won't buy it, but I'm interested to know what it is. The Kylie Cosmetics cream bronzers. What else? And I think that's it. Oh, and then of course the lights lacquer. I need to figure out if I want those for real or not. But quite a few things, almost 10 items overall that I was interested in. I found a lot of new brands, so I did go ahead and follow all of them. So hopefully when sales come around, when I can buy makeup, I'll be back in heaven again. But until then, I hope you guys